Alongside Chris Johnston of Sportsnet.ca and Hockey Night in Canada. And Chris, neither the Leafs or the Canadiens practice here on Sunday, so it's tough to get a gauge of what the lineups will look like for Game 3 in Montreal. But for the Canadiens going in, you have to think they would love coming out of Toronto with a split. But the fact that they only had 3 goals in 2 games, maybe some suggesting a guy like Cole Caufield could be a pretty good option come Game 3?
I would say so. I mean, I would be stunned if we didn't see him play Game 3 just because, I mean, first of all, it seemed to be setting up this way. You start with the veterans, ease your way into the series, and you kind of have that in your back pocket as a shot of energy, you know, putting a young player in your lineup. Obviously, someone capable of scoring a big goal. We saw that during the regular season, a couple goals against the Maple Leafs. And, you know, I don't think that goal scoring was solely their issue in the games out of Toronto, but you are going to need to score more than 3 for every 2 games you play. And I just think that he brings that element. There'll probably be a little bit more comfort for Dominique Ducharme in the way he uses him in the game when he has last change and all those types of things. So, yes, no confirmation, no information, but I would be intuitively a little bit surprised if we didn't see Caufield enter this series on Monday night.
So Auston Matthews, at the best of times, isn't the biggest fan of speaking about himself, but many others have over the last couple of days here. Jason Spezza said Saturday night he thought he was the best player on the ice. What have you made just the way in terms of Matthews asserting himself into this series early on?
It's the natural next step, right? This guy's coming off his finest season, unquestionably as an NHL player. Unquestionably the league's best goal scorer this year, wins the Rocket Richard Trophy. And I think where he's drawn a lot of praise is the way he uses his body and in the defensive zone, his attention to detail there. And so you get to the playoffs where it's magnified, where what he does is so important because he plays so many minutes for the Leafs and the matchups maybe take on a different look. You know, I think this is the natural next step for him, and he's earned all that praise. He won't be doing it himself, but you know, you look at the underlying numbers. He's 80% expected goals for in this series. You know, he won a ton of faceoffs in Game 2. He's hit a couple posts. He's had 23 shot attempts in 2 games. I mean, that is absolutely the recipe for the Leafs to win a series like this. And I would think the other thing that, you know, the Montreal Canadiens coaching staff is thinking of going home is, do we put Caufield in, and what do we do about that Matthews line? Because, you know, they've allowed him to really find his legs early in this series, and they have to try to find a way to make that not happen in Game 3.
Yeah, Joel Edmondson certainly suggested on Sunday it felt like we played these guys 20 times this year at this point. The hate certainly ramped up a notch on Saturday. The intensity is there as we head